Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ifoma. Today, let's make this beautiful off-shoulder crop top. So to begin, I will have my fabric folded into two. And to get your fold, you have to divide your bust circumference by 2 inches. So the bust I'm working with is 37 inches divided into 2. I'm going to get 18.5 inches. And I'm going to add 2 inches allowance for the channel of the rope. So these are all the measurements you'll be needing. You'll be needing the sleeve, that is, you're taking all measurements from your off shoulder. Okay, all the measurements you're taking it from your off shoulder. You'll be needing your sleeve length, you'll be needing your round sleeve, the bicep and the hem. You'll be needing your round bust measurement, and be needing the length of your crop top. And you remember you're taking all the measurements from your off shoulder place. All right, so this is me imputing the length of my top. Okay, so after I was done doing that, I connected it with a straight line. And I just cut it out. Remember to add your 2 inches allowance for the making of your rope channel. So I set this aside and I'm going to cut the sleeve. Now the sleeve will be folded into 4 inches, and you are going to impute your bicep measurements and the hem measurements. Alright, so the length of the sleeve is totally dependent on what you want. Remember to add your 1 inch sewing allowance. Like I said, the sleeve was folded into 2. So after I was done cutting it into 4, sorry. So after I was done cutting it, we have 2 pieces of sleeves. So I'm going to go ahead and start making this top. And the first thing I'm going to do is to fold a tiny piece on the top and on the down of the main bodice. Now if you have a serging machine or a weaving machine, depending on what you call it, this part will not be necessary for you. Just go ahead and weave the up and the down of your top. But because I don't have a serging machine, I'm just going to make a tiny fold on the up and the down of my top. Just a very tiny fold. Remember, we are making the tiny fold on the 2 parts, on the 2 ends of our top, which is the upper part and the down part. So we're going to go ahead and put our elastic. Okay, so this is the elastic I'll be using. You can use any elastic of your choice. You can use a 1 inch elastic, you can use a 1/2 inch elastic, depending on what you want. So this is the elastic, and while you're measuring the elastic, make sure you reduce it up to 12 or 10 inches. You make your fabric to be 12 or 10 inches longer than the elastic, so it's going to give you the stretchy effect. Now you're going to cut 2 pieces of this elastic, one for the upper part and one for the lower part. So I'm just going to pin one end of the elastic on one side, and I'm going to pin the other end on the other side. That way I'm going to make sure that the elastic is shared evenly on the fabric. I'm going to do the same for the lower part of the dress. So I'm just going to go over to the sewing machine and match this elastic on top of the tiny fold that I made earlier. Note that while you are matching it, you'll be drawing it a little bit so the elastic will elast on the fabric. I'm going to do the same for the lower part of the top. Make sure to be giving it a light stretch. So after you're done doing that, you're going to fold it down once to make your fabric cover the elastic. So when you're doing that, you're already going to find out that this is giving a very beautiful look. You are having a very beautiful light scrunchies on your dress. So this is what it looks like when we are done sewing them. And for the sleeve, you are going to fold the sleeve into two, right side facing each other, and I'm going to pin it. We're going to shape it with a 1 inches sewing allowance we added when we were cutting it. Here I'm just shaping the sleeves with a 1 inch sewing allowance we added earlier. So when I was done, I flipped it over to the right side, and remember how we made a tiny fold on the top and on the bottom of the main fabric of the top. We are going to do the exact same thing on the sleeve as well. And again, if you have a weaving machine, just kindly go over to your weaving machine and weave the up and the down of your sleeve, just the same way you did for the top. So for the sleeve, for the elastic of the sleeve, measure your round bicep and the hem of the sleeve also, then -2 or 1.5 inches from it. That is how you are going to cut your elastic, so that when you sew it on the sleeve, it's going to give it that slight scrunchy look. So this is just the exact same thing we did for the bodies of the top. After I was done matching it on top, I also folded it once to hide the elastic. So this is what it looks like when I was done. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make the channel, the rope channel. Remember we added a 2 inches allowance when we were cutting it for the two ends of our top. So I'm going to use 1 inch to fold one end and 1 inch to fold the another, making sure that I give enough room for the rope. And this one, you can make this as wide as you like. Just make sure you add enough allowance when you're cutting it. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side of the top. So this is what it looks like when I was done. Next thing I'm going to do, we are going to try to fix our sleeve, and to do that we're going to fold your top into two, find the mid center, the middle point of it, and you're going to fold it again. So this is making it 4 folds. And then on the middle side of the second fold, you're going to mark that midpoint on both sides. That is where you're going to attach your sleeve. So to attach our sleeve, you are going to attach the bicep, which is the upper part of your sleeve, on exactly on that point you marked with your chalk. And while you are doing that, you're going to make sure that the shaping side is facing the points you marked. Of course, the right side will be facing each other. I'm going to do the same for the other side of the sleeve. Make sure the shaping side is the one directly on top of the place you marked. Just look closely, you're going to understand what I mean. So when I was done doing that, I cut out a 1-inch rope. This is the 1-inch fabric. I cut it out. I'm just going to fold it like this. That will be the rope of our top. So how you fold this rope doesn't matter. What matters is that you made a neat rope. You can decide to turn it in out. You can decide to match it the way I'm doing mine. So this is what we have. When we are done matching the rope, what we're going to do is to pass the rope through the channel we created earlier. Now you can use a safety pin or anything that works for you. Pass the rope from the upper part of the top round to the other side. Now this is going to be a single rope. So this is what it looks like when I was done attaching the rope. So that's all for this beautiful top. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and also turn the notification bell on so you get notified anytime I drop a video. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment on the comment section if you are going to try this. Bye.